Alright, today we're talking about area of parallelograms, triangles, and trapezoids. Area of parallelogram, if you're needing the area of parallelogram, here's the formula. It's just base times the height. Okay? And sometimes they'll just give you the two numbers. Obviously, those are the ones you multiply. But if they give you, sometimes they'll do is they'll give you a measurement for all four sides. Or five sides, technically. And you have to know which ones you need and which ones you don't need. For base and height, right, they form a right angle. You can see the base and the height form a right angle. Right? They touch the right angle. The base and height are the ones that touch the right angle. Okay, this side and this side, do they touch the right angle? Is this side touching the right angle? No. So can I use this as my height or my base? No. Okay. All right, so the first one, right, here is a parallelogram. Right? I just need to find the area of a parallelogram. We just take the base times the height. So 16 times 11, right, which 16 times 11 is 176. Now be aware what your units are. Right? Here the units are inches. So since it's area, it's a square unit, so it's inches squared. Right? Inches squared, or square inches. Right? Here, they give us three sides. Here, here, and here. What two am I going to use for base and height? Camden?
16.7 and 8.5.
Okay, the two that touch the right angle. Okay, this you could say is touching the right angle, even though it doesn't really look like it. Okay, it's showing you it touches the right angle. So these would be your base and your height. Now it doesn't matter which one's which because multiplication. And the order doesn't matter with multiplication. But 16.7 times 8.3 gives you 138.6 centimeters squared is your unit. And there's your answer. Right? Be aware of this because I had someone last hour want to use this. It's not touching the right angle, so you can't use it. Here, they're asking for the height. So what you do is you work backwards. Your formula for area of a parallelogram is base times height. Plug in what you know. Area is 156. Base is 13. We got to find the height. We know how to do this. We've been doing this all year long. We look 13 times by h, so we divide by 13 to get rid of it. 156 divided by 13 gives you 12 meters for your height. Alright. Area of a triangle, 1/2 the base times the height. Right? Base and height, again, touch the right angle. One thing I want to point out about this formula, a lot of time you'll see it written like this, 1/2 the base times the height. But I like to do it this way. I like to take base times height and I like to divide it by 2. Right? It's the same thing. Mathematically, it's the same thing. Timesing by half is the same thing as dividing by 2. But I've noticed over the years that students will confuse this, but they understand this better. Right? You can do it this way, and some students like to do it this way. You can do it a couple different ways. If you want to take base times height first, then times it by a half, or divide by 2, it's the same thing. Or you can do half of the base times the height. It doesn't really matter. Right? But this is the way I do it. I take the base times the height and then I divide it by 2. Alright, write this down. Alright, so we take base times height. It doesn't matter which one you say is the base, which one you say is the height for something like this, because it's only two sides, so you have to multiply them anyway. So area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So I do 8 times 5.2. I divide that by 2. 8 times 5.2 is 41.6. I divide that by 2 and I get 20.8. Area is asking for area, so it's a square unit, so it's meters squared. There's my answer. Alright, here's triangle base and height. My base would be 15 and my height would be my 12 because they touch the right angle. They're going to give you extra sides that you don't need. 14, 17, if you use them, it won't work. You won't get the right answer. You have to take the base times the height. So we take 12 times 15. We divide it by 2. 180 divided by 2 is 90. It's a square unit, so it's feet squared, and there's your answer. Alright, area of a trapezoid. Alright, area of a trapezoid is known as this, and it's 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. You have to add your bases first, then you times by your height, then times by 1/2. Or you can do it this way, base 1 plus base 2 times it by your height, then divide by 2, because timesing by 1/2 and dividing by 2 are the same thing. Alright, and that's the formula they need for area of a trapezoid. Alright, so area of a trapezoid, alright, my formula is base 1 plus base 2 times it by the height, then divide by 2. So I add my bases. Alright, again, the bases touch the right angle. You don't see the right angle, but you can tell this touches your bases, so that's got to be your height. These have to be your bases. 8 plus 17 times it by 2, then divide by 2. 2 is your height here. Right? 8 plus 17 is 25. Times that by 2, divide by 2. 25 times 2 is 50. 50 divided by 2 is 25. It's area, so it's a square unit. It's inches squared. There's your answer. Here's your assignment.